As the White House unveils its plans for gun control, we'll take a look at what former Arizona Congresswoman Gabby Giffords is doing to help protect children from gun violence.
The Border Patrol facilities are completely over capacity right now.
Plus, details on the new facilities being constructed in Arizona to handle the recent spike in migrants at the U.S. Mexico border.
And later this half hour on Break It Down, the nostalgia of TV shows from the past.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Jenna Delatorre.
And I'm Tyler Mannion. Thanks for joining us.
One day after another mass shooting claimed 5 lives, this time in South Carolina, President Joe Biden said today he's taking action aimed at combating gun violence in the U.S. Jake Holter brings us more from our Washington bureau.
The House passed a gun buyer's background check bill last month, but it has stalled in the Senate, and President Biden said today he is tired of waiting.
They've offered plenty of thoughts and prayers, members of Congress, but they passed not a single new federal law to reduce gun violence. Enough prayers. Time for some action.
Biden this week issued 6 executive orders to curb gun violence. One cracks down on quote-unquote ghost guns, firearms assembled from parts with no serial numbers that are virtually untraceable and can be bought without a background check. Another asks the Justice Department to develop model red flag legislation for states that would let police or family members seek a court order to temporarily bar people in crisis from accessing firearms if they present a danger to themselves or others. As he discussed the measures today, Biden insisted they will not harm gun rights.
Nothing I'm about to recommend in any way impinges on the Second Amendment. They're phony arguments suggesting that these are Second Amendment rights at stake from what we're talking about.
That argument that there can be gun restrictions that don't harm gun rights has been the mantra of the organization founded by former Arizona Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords. She was at the Rose Garden ceremony and had high praise afterwards for the president's actions.
So excited. Joe Biden. Get her done, get her done, get her done.
Giffords was the victim of gun violence herself, grievously wounded in an assassination attempt in 2011 that killed 6 and injured 12 others in Tucson. That led her to form Giffords.org, which has spent years fighting for gun reform.
Now is the time to come together. Be responsible. Democrats, Republicans, everyone. We must never stop fighting.
Biden said it is a fight he plans to continue.
My job, the job of any president, is to protect the American people. Whether Congress acts or not, I'm going to use all the resources at my disposal as president to keep the American people safe from gun violence.
In Washington, Jake Holter, Cronkite News.
The president today also introduced David Chipman, his nominee to be the next director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Chipman, a former ATF special agent and gun control advocate, is currently working at the Giffords organization as a senior policy advisor.
The number of kids alone at the Mexican border hit an all-time high in March. U.S. authorities say they picked up about 19,000 children traveling across the border alone this past month. That's overwhelming the system and Border Patrol. Cronkite News reporter Samantha Bird explains how Yuma County is trying to handle the situation.
Officials say Arizona will be home to large tent-like facilities to house unaccompanied migrant children and families as Border Patrol gives them court dates and releases them into the U.S. Yuma is one of the sites.
The Border Patrol facilities are completely over capacity right now.
Yuma County Supervisor Jonathan Lyons says the new Yuma facility went under construction about 15 days ago.
It is like a giant army tent, and bringing that in so that they can keep the families that are being processed together.
Vincent Dulesky of Yuma Sector Border Patrol explains the process.
We are getting a emergency soft-sided facility. It's being constructed in our parking lot right now, and I believe it's due to be finished around mid-April. Once we have that in place, it'll be a little better. It's not the permanent answer. I am being told that we are going to get a permanent facility, but in the meantime, we're doing the best we can with what we're given.
To understand the situation and the reasons.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says that they are setting up additional facilities in Texas to shelter unaccompanied children and families.
But they know very well they're going to get deported.
Some Phoenix activists are worried about the conditions in these shelters.
We cannot trust the Border Patrol to whatever they say. If they say it's going to be a short stay and air conditioning and all of that, well, it has to be verified. If it's not verified, then experience tells us that they are very callous because they've been dealing with deportations for a long time.
Dulesky assures the tent-like facilities are built specifically for Arizona conditions.
We've got these big old compressors that are running 24/7. They've also have to have air coolers for the air that runs into those compressors so they won't shut down. Otherwise, it'll be too hot for them to run. So we actually have evaporating coolers next to those that run into the air conditioning to cool these tents down.
You know, the United States of America, and this is who we are. This is what
Minority Leader of the Arizona House of Representatives, Charlene Fernandez, explains the migrant situation as they seek refuge.
Are fleeing very, very, very dangerous situations. You know, I mean, just like anything, and that's why there's interviews that take place. That's why there's a process.
The Homeland Security Secretary says they're on pace to encounter more individuals on the southwest border than they have in the last 20 years. In the studio, Samantha Bird, Cronkite News.
A new federal law gives additional help to foster children, even if they're out of the system. The COVID-19 Response and Relief Supplement Act allows anyone who aged out of foster care to seek funding for housing, education, and other things. It's open to those who are aged 18 to 27 and who were in foster care starting at the age of 14. A new bill working its way through Arizona legislature would extend foster care to those up to age 21. Rayleigh Klein reports the bill's sponsor says the goal is to reduce homelessness in young adults.
Arizona has a growing crisis in the world of foster care. According to Arizonans for Children, the state leads the nation for the number of children per capita in group or shelter care. Court-appointed special advocates for children also reported that 25 kids come into foster care every single day. So what is being done to help them? Arizona House Bill 2728 would allow 18-year-olds to automatically stay in the system unless they choose to opt out. The current system is the opposite, where they must opt in for extended care through the age of 21. Several organizations have strong feelings about this bill.
I think it's a great thing, and I'm optimistic that if it gets approved, that more children will stay in the foster care system.
According to Child Crisis Arizona, in the current system, most 18-year-olds don't opt in for the extended care. Some can't leave fast enough.
Unfortunately, most of the children in the system don't trust the system. They don't trust the adults that they have been with. They have been failed by our system.
While the bill, if passed, is a good start, Arizona Friends of Foster Children believe it's going to take a village to start making real change.
Pressure your legislators to do the right thing, to pass this legislation, to pass other legislation that helps kids in foster care, because they don't get a voice or a choice about what's happening.
In Phoenix, Rayleigh Klein, Cronkite News.
The bill has been assigned to the House Health and Human Services Committee, but hasn't yet been given a hearing.
Coronavirus cases in our state have now been below 1,000 for 27 consecutive days. That's the longest streak since June of last year. And starting Monday, another indoor vaccine site will open here in Arizona. The Phoenix Municipal Stadium operation is moving to Desert Financial Arena on ASU's Tempe campus as temperatures here in the valley near triple digits. Meanwhile, restaurants have been trying their absolute best to get back to business as usual after Governor Doug Ducey lifted the mask mandate and opened businesses without restrictions. Reporter Julia Sandor got a look at how some places in the valley are handling this situation.
When the pandemic started, restaurants were hit hard. And after a year of takeout and delivery, they are opening their doors back up with no restrictions.
We've had some push and pull effect since lifting of the mask mandate and the restrictions last week. However, that all being said, I think we're going to experience that for a few weeks. And restaurants trying to accommodate guests to the best of their ability, those who want to wear a mask and those who don't. And it's going to be a little bumpy, but I think we'll find our way.
And even though restaurants seem to be getting back to normal, behind closed doors, they are facing another problem. According to the Arizona Restaurant Association, 89% of restaurant operators laid off or furloughed their employees due to COVID.
So we had about, I would almost say 80 to 100 staff. And I would say we probably had, once the pandemic fully hit, we probably had 20. If that, that's front and back of house. So that's cooks and everything too. So we had to lay a lot of people off.
But as places like Bobby Q are transitioning to more dining, they hope for a steady increase in employees and revenue.
Needs so far now, especially with business picking up and all the stuff, regulations going down, we have needed more and more people. And it's been tough to find people to work, to be honest with you. I probably had 16 interviews scheduled in the last week or two, and probably about 5 people have showed up. So,
Julia Sandor, Cronkite News.
Now, we go to Melissa Zaremba in the Cronkite News Weather Center with the forecast.
It's no surprise that it's extremely hot here in Arizona, but what is surprising is looking at the country, because Phoenix is actually at 94 degrees, taking the second top spot in being the hottest state. But what's taking the top spot is San Antonio at 97 degrees. So we better enjoy it while we still can. And then taking a look at our high temperatures across the state, the lower parts of Arizona is going to be in the 90s. So you're going to want to make sure you're drinking plenty of water. But if you want to escape the cool, going into the cool down, you're going to want to go up in the northern parts of Arizona, because Flagstaff is going to be at 66 degrees. And then taking a look at the rest of the evening, we're going to be at 91 degrees with a lot of sunshine, and we're going to be clear skies here on out. And by 10 p.m., we're going to drop to 81 degrees. And then taking a look at our weekend, we're going to be at 94 Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday, we're going to see those clouds coming in at 92 degrees. And then looking at our work week, we're going to hold on to that sunshine, and we're going to drop into the low mid 80s. And then Thursday and Friday, we're going to see those clouds make an appearance. So we're going to want to enjoy this little cool down while we still can, because summer is just around the corner. In the Weather Center, I'm Melissa Zaremba.
I'm Marco Peralta, and after the break, I have your Cronkite Sports Report, including how the Arizona Coyotes gave back in honor of a civil rights icon. Don't go away.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
Everyone has secrets. Are you protecting someone?
I have no choice.
You do have a choice. You're looking at him.
That's amazing. We could be standing on top of a T-Rex right now.
Women demanded new space and pushed the boundaries of what being a lady means.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station, sign in, and start streaming today.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. You know, I don't go anywhere without my passport. And now, thanks to PBS Passport, you can travel with me and watch all 10 seasons of Rick Steves Europe and all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today and get your passport.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Marco Peralta with your Cronkite Sports Report. When the azaleas are in bloom, you know it's time for the Masters. The most prestigious golf tournament in the world tees off today. The tournament is a massive event that Georgia will host this year, especially after the MLB pulled the All-Star game from Atlanta last week due to the controversy around the voting law. Former Sun Devil Phil Mickelson and Rory McIlroy weighed in on the law before the tournament.
And so I'm not really familiar with the details of the law you're talking about, but I do believe in the rights and treating all people equal.
I have to be
respectful and somewhat careful about what I say, is I'm not a citizen of this country, but I certainly, I think all great countries and democracies are built on equal voting rights and everyone being able to get to the ballot box as easily as possible.
Cesar Chavez is a role model here in Arizona, and to the Coyotes is no exception. Cronkite News reporter Zach Moore went out to witness the team's community outreach in the name of the civil rights icon.
The Coyote Pack was in full effect at St. Mary's Food Bank as familiar faces like Shane Doan, Javier Gutierrez, and the Coyote staff made every effort to help out their community while passing on the legacy of one iconic Arizona native, Cesar Chavez.
And I think that's just a testament to him and the type of man that he was. And it's so cool that there's a day completely dedicated to this and that we get to honor that.
He really is an American icon, and I'm very honored that on this day we honor him by doing what he was about, which is being a man for others and being in service for others.
With over 50 years of serving their community here in Phoenix, it meant everything for the St. Mary's Food Bank to continue to see the Coyotes make a difference.
As much as they mean to us on the ice and in the sporting world, and the wins that the Coyotes put up for the city, they're always putting up wins also in the community and the way that they can help and give back. And this isn't the first time we've seen the Coyotes here, and it certainly won't be the last.
Under the new leadership of Alex Morello and Javier Gutierrez, the Coyotes continue to put an emphasis on the Hispanic heritage here in Arizona and for all Coyotes fans across the country.
We want to open our doors. We want to extend our hand to communities that haven't necessarily felt connected to this organization. Say, you are part of our pack.
On a day of giving back to the community, it created a sense of gratitude for the opportunity to make a difference.
I can enjoy and be thankful and grateful for the opportunities I've been given.
In Chandler, Zach Moore, Cronkite News.
And that will do it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Jenna and Tyler.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.